Hi, everyone, and welcome. And today I'm going to talk about what story are you living? I think a few weeks back I did another show in which I spoke about are you talking about what isn't working? And you could say this is kind of like part two of that series, which is what story are you living? What story are you living? Okay. So, in this one, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to be aware of where are you functioning from? Okay, so it's like you may be doing whatever it is that you are doing. Okay, you may be working in your job, you may be working in your business, but if things aren't going the way that you would like them to, what you need to do is you need to explore where you are functioning from. Or if you've been asking for some things to change and they are not changing, what you have to do is you have to become a bit of a detective and start exploring where you are functioning from. Okay? And where you're functioning from will give you a clue to why things are either working or not working for you. Hi Shirika, hi Dipti, good to have you guys live. If any of you are live, let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay in the comments below as well. Okay, now if you guys didn't know, I'm doing a free 3 days of out creation challenge, and we just had the first call and it was amazing. Who was on that call? And let me know how it was for you. I mean, it was really, really amazing. So the link is in the description. Sign up for that thing. The replays are available for 24 hours. So you will be able to catch the replay of the first call as well. But make sure that you watch the replay today itself, because tomorrow it's going to disappear. Okay. So 3 days of out creation challenge. It's amazing. I hope to see you there. So again, talking about, where are you functioning from? Okay. So a lot of people, they like to talk about money, they like to talk about business, they like to talk about things that are maybe not working for them in their business, or not working for them in their money flows. And so my question to you is, and I would really invite you to really explore this, is that where are you functioning from? Okay, so say let's take an example of maybe you are promoting a class, or you're promoting some sessions with you or something like that. Okay, so when you are promoting, right, what is the point of view that you have, or what is it going on at the back of your mind as you are promoting? Okay, and that is where you are functioning from, and that is giving you the story that you are living, because literally those thoughts which are at the back of your mind, those are creating your life. So, what you are thinking today, and I don't mean by consciously thinking about things, but what you are thinking at the back of your mind are actually the things that are creating your life for the next 3 months and even beyond that, right? It's not just the next 3 months, it's even beyond that, right? So, say, you are promoting a class and you put in, you You put up a post on Facebook, or you put up a post on Instagram, or you might even put up a video on YouTube. Okay, just explore, what points of view do you have as you are putting up that post. Okay, and you will be really you will be really astonished, or maybe not, to know that whatever points of view you have, that's exactly how things are going to show up in your reality. So for example, if you're putting up a post and what's going on in your head is that no matter what I do, nothing works for me, that's exactly what you're going to create in your reality. That's exactly what you're going to create in your reality. Perfectly, that's what you're going to create in your reality. Years ago, when I was pregnant for the first time with my son, I was living in Saudi Arabia. And I don't know what it is about being pregnant. Uh, you know, like women, they love to share their stories of childbirth. They love to share how much they suffered and how long their labor was and all of that. Can any of you identify with that? So I found that, the moment people would know that I was pregnant, they would start talking about their childbirth, and they would start telling me all their gory, stories of their suffering in their childbirth and how difficult their labor was, and blah, 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 blah. Now, after hearing, I think maybe the fourth or fifth conversation like that, I said to myself, hey, Karen, good to have you live. Hey, Shaheen, good to have you live. So, hi, Xenia. Yeah, Xenia says every day, my God. Yeah, Xenia, actually, you kind of reminded me of this story, okay? And this is actually for you. She's going to have a baby. So after hearing like the fourth or fifth conversation like that, I said to myself, you know what? Every time I listen to one of these stories, I just constrict. I go into so much fear, and I'm totally going to create this in my life. And I asked myself, is this the experience that I want to have in my childbirth? And it was like a very strong no. So the next time anyone started their conversation of how much they suffered, I just said, hey, you know what, do you mind not telling me? I don't want to hear this. I don't want to freak out about childbirth right now. So I'm really sorry, but can we not talk about it? And to my surprise, I found that pretty much everyone was quite okay about not talking. It just was, it's almost like it was just like a default for most women. The moment they hear that you're pregnant, they want to give you all kinds of pregnancy advice, and then they want to share their suffering in childbirth story. I used to call it that. So after, I started saying no to people, what I started exploring was that what would I like to have in my childbirth? Like, what would I like my whole experience of childbirth to be like? Right. And I really contemplated this. I started thinking about it. And, when I was pregnant with my son, I was like, pretty much all day long, I would be lying on the sofa and I would be doing Reiki on myself, right? Because at that time I knew Reiki, and, I would be running energy on myself, and it just felt so good to me, right? So as I was running Reiki on myself one day, I said, you know what? I would like the childbirth to be a spiritual experience for me. That's what I said to myself. I would like it to be a spiritual experience for me. I would like it to be an out of this world experience for me. You know, I wasn't really going into that thing of I would like there to be no pain or, any of that, because at that point I could not really compute like no pain, but I could totally get this thing that I wanted to have a spiritual experience, right? And guess what? My labor, my childbirth, and when my son was born, that was like the most spiritual experience in my life at that point of time. I remember, when the doctor, she lifted my son up, and I looked into his eyes, and he had like long fingers, and like I still remember his fingers, wiggling, and he like, I looked into his eyes, and it was like the most spiritual experience for me. And I was like, I just like touched his finger, and the doctor like swapped my hand away, and she said, don't touch your dirty hands to him, like he's just come out of the womb. But that was like the most spiritual experience for me. So that was like a huge aha moment for me. And what I realized was that, do we ask for what we would like enough in our life? Or do we just tune into the default? Like, I could totally have been a part of the default, suffering in childbirth brigade, right? But that one choice that I made, that I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to listen to these suffering in childbirth stories. And I'm not going to, have that experience in my own childbirth. That one choice changed everything for me. And, when I made that choice not to listen to those stories, I also made a choice to find something different, something which would be more expansive, which would create something different in my life. And that's where I made that choice, that my childbirth would be a really spiritual experience for me, right? And it totally created that, right? So my question to you now is that, are you choosing the different? Because here's the thing, it's really easy to be a part of the default of this reality, right? Because the default in this reality, notice, is all about pain, suffering, trauma, drama, and all of that. The default is never about, joy or happiness or any of those other things, right? It's not that. The default is always about, how much of joy and happiness abounds in the world. Very less, right? But how much of pain and suffering and trauma and drama abounds in the world? A lot. So, what story are you living is kind of like a reminder to you to disconnect or unplug from the default, and then plug into something totally different, something that you would actually like to have as a part of your experience. And many times, like, I shared this in the call I did last week also. Many times you may not even know what it is that you would like to have. Like, you may not have a cognitive awareness of what is it that you would like to have. You're just aware of the energy. So it's like just choosing that energy and allowing that energy to unfold in your life, allowing that energy to kind of like literally the word is unfold, right? So so I'd like you to think about any one area of your life where you are functioning from default. Any area of your life where you are functioning from default. And is it time now to disconnect from that default? Let me know, type in disconnect in the comments if you would like to disconnect from the default. Okay? So, what is showing up in that area of your life which is part of the default? So of course I invite you to do like a pen and paper exercise here. Whenever you watch me, just keep a pen and paper handy, right? And start writing down things. So write down the things that are part of the default that are not actually working for you. Write it down. Okay. And then for each thing that you write, which is part of the default that's not working for you, in front of it, you can actually write down what you would like instead. And if you cannot actually get words to write down, just tune into the energy of what you would like instead. Okay, so do that. Like, write down two things. Just write down two things, just for the sake of the little exercise that we are doing. Write down two things, just because I want you guys to have an experience. I'm living the never-ending story of my soul's peaceful and love myself much more than before. That's fantastic. So you're already disconnected from the default, and you're choosing that love and that peace and all of that, which is fantastic and great. So just write down a couple of things which are part of the default that are not working for you. Two things. And then write down what you would like to have instead. What you would like to have instead. Okay. So aches and pains in my jaw. Okay, great. So what would you like to have instead? So even if you have no words for it, you can just tap into that energy of not having any of that, of having ease and relaxation in your jaw. See, when you talk about release from stress in my jaw, again, what is your attention going on? It's going on the stress in your jaw. So rather, I want you to kind of think about ease and relaxation in your jaw. What would that be like? So what would it be like to have ease and relaxation? Or what would it be like to have whatever it is that you're asking for? The second thing is, where do you have that ease and relaxation in your life? Where else do you have that ease and relaxation in your life? Just tap into that. And then ask for more of that to show up. And again, remember that this is not a how to. This is just a choice that it's possible. This is just a choice that it's possible. Okay, cool. So now, another little kind of fun thing that you can do with this is that, you can write a new story. Okay, you can write a new story. So for example, I'll take the story of, aches and pains in your jaw. So if you had a new story about your body, what would that new story be like? What would that new story be like? So for example, if you have aches and pains in your jaw, hey, you know what? Can I say something? Maybe it's to do with lack of calcium. So maybe your body requires calcium, because that's just an awareness I'm getting. Okay. So just check, maybe the calcium you're already taking is not being uh, absorbed by your body well. So you could ask for a different version, or I don't really know what's with the aches and pains in your jaw, but this is just an awareness I had. I mean, take it, look if it applies to you or not, right? So start writing down a new story. So right now, if the so I'm just using that example, okay, and you totally have to apply it to whatever is going on in your own life, right? So right now it could be that that you that because you have pain in your jaw, you're not able to eat, say for example, walnuts, for example, right? Or you're not able to, hi Manjari, good to see you live, hi Kimberly, hi Neetu, hi everyone. Okay, so maybe you're not able to eat some hard nuts or whatever, right? So in your new story, you could write, I'm just amazed as to how good I feel in my body, and now I'm able to eat walnuts and whatever, and I'm really enjoying them. And of course, add these things only if you like them, right? Because if you don't like these things and you write about it, then it's not going to do that thing for you. So your story has to be that wow story, right? So maybe this jaw thing is not the one. Maybe I'll use something else. So maybe you're a person who wants to do some classes, and you would like to have many people who are attending your classes and so on. So you could write a new story of, oh my god, it is incredible what's showing up in my life. I do a class every weekend and I have 20 people who are signed up, and I have people on the wait list, and they have all paid in advance and booked for the class. And I have booked this beautiful venue. It's just overlooking the beautiful ocean, and there is great, amazing, orgasmic, organic food, and it's so beautiful. I just love it. And the participants are all going to love it, and things like that. So that's like a new story that you're writing. What about money? Write a story about money. Whatever story you want to write, like what is that money contributing to your life? Write a news story, right? So now when you actually go and post about your class, then guess what? You're not doing the default of, oh my God, I post all the time and nobody signs up. But now when you post, you're tuning into the energy of the news story that you've written about your class, right? And it's not just making up a story, it's like knowing completely and totally that that is what you are creating, right? And it can be just that fast, it can be instantaneous, totally right now, right? So, choose that. So, whatever it is that you would like to change, it's about, disconnecting from the default that you're functioning from, and then, creating a new story that you would like to actually live, right? So so if you are one of those people who really cares for the earth, and who wants who is not really happy with what is going on in the earth, then you need to actually disconnect from what is going on, and stop putting your attention on what is, and start putting more into what is the new story that you would like to have. What is the new story that you would like to have, right? So, for example, I have shared with you guys before also that I love the teachings of Cryon, and they had a live stream last night. Well, it was night for me, it was the daytime for the US. And it was all about the election in the US right now, right? And there were three channelers, and they were talking about the potentials for the elections, right? And so, one of the things that they spoke about is, like, he said that when the political candidates, they have their debates right now, it's all about mudslinging, that this one did this and that one did that, and how terrible the other person is, whatever. And he said, what if there was a different way of being? What if each candidate acknowledged the amazingness and the amazing stuff that the other person had to bring to the table, and they actually acknowledged the other person's, their opponent's greatness. They acknowledged the potential the other person had to create change. And then they said, and I can contribute this. you know that's a totally different energy, isn't it? That's a totally different way of looking at things. So again, coming to this energy of what story are you living? So you can totally, at this point of time, go in and tap into the default. And the default is, the pain and the suffering and the trauma and the drama. And also the default is what is, right? But if you really want to create a change in your life, if you would like to create that change in the world that you've been asking for, then you have to unplug from the default, and you have to start living a new story. And I don't even say you have to start asking for a new story. You have to visualize a new story. None of that. You literally have to start living a new story. So what if, like, we started living a story where that kind of thing, that kind of political reality was true all over the planet? where the different parties in the government they functioned from that space of contribution, where everyone was really working for the good of everyone, was working for the good of the whole country. What if you started living that, right? And again, it's not a none of this is a how to, because nobody can really give you a how to. But what I am actually showing you guys is the energy of what is possible. And when you see the energy, you can choose that, right? And the same thing goes for whatever is going on in your life, right? Wherever you are functioning from the default, just start living your new story. Just start living your new story. So, for example, uh, who would you be? Like, if you are living that reality of that person who does a workshop every week and has more than 20 participants in their workshop, start living your whole life as that person. How would you be throughout the day? How would that person post on social media? So when you posted on social media, would you now post with that, oh, I'm posting this but nothing is going to happen? Or would you now post with, I'm posting this and all those people who would like to be a part of this class are connecting with me and they are coming for this class? And this poster is reaching all those 20 people. This poster is reaching more than 20 people who are signing up not just for this class but all my classes in the future, right? Would you post that post with that energy, right? Would you, how would you how would you prepare for that class? Would you prepare from that class knowing that there are 20 people who are attending, and now what are the things that I need to take care of? What are the different supplies do I need to put in place? Who are the people I need to talk to? Do I need to have some kind of support people that are available for me? Or are you going to be that energy of, oh, nobody has registered, maybe this class is not going to happen, let me not do anything, right? Can you see the difference between the two? Who you are being here, where you know absolutely that you're going to have those people in the class, and here where you are, you know, plugged into the default of, no, there's not going to be any, there's not going to be any participants in my class, or it's so difficult to get those participants for my classes. It completely changes. It completely changes. And, see, what creates? It's your energy that creates. It's your energy that creates. The actions are an extension of your energy, right? Your actions are always an extension of your energy. There's nothing more, nothing less than that, right? And so that's where you need to function from. That's where, you have to make a choice, right? Just choose the new story and start living your new story. Like if you want to relocate to a different country, then, start living as if you are living in that new country, right? That's all that is required. I mean, it's the most easiest thing to do, as well as the most difficult thing for you to do. And yeah, people may call you that, you're living in cloud cuckoo land, or you're living in your head, or whatever that is. And does it really matter what people think? If you start tending to that, if you start disconnecting from the default, if you start living your new story, what you're doing is you're getting vibrationally aligned to everything that you're asking for, and you start attracting it into your life, right? Literally, you will start attracting everything into your life. And sometimes there's a bit of delay, right? Because I read this somewhere, like, say you're asking for an elephant, right? So you need that bit of a delay, so that you have space for that elephant. Like, you have a little plot of land where you can have that elephant, and you have enough hay for the elephant, you have enough water, you also have someone there who will take care of the elephant. Because if you ask for the elephant now, and if the elephant drops in your living room, the poor elephant cannot even go out the front door, right? Because the front door is too tiny for your elephant to pass through, right? So that's the reason, you have a little bit of delay between what you're asking for and before it shows up. Because in this physical reality, there's that little bit of time lag which is there, right? But the moment you ask for something, it's vibrationally given to you. All you have to do is you have to prepare all the conditions so that you can receive it. you know so it's just that. It's just that. And I know with health issues, it can be a little challenging, especially if you are going through the physical pain or whatever it is in your body. But even you can start living your new story, right? So for example, say you have a headache, right? And then the light is really bright, and your eyes are sensitive to the light and things like that. You're not able to be in a brightly lit room and things like that. So your new story is that you are totally okay, even in the bright sunlight. And your eyes are totally okay, your head is totally okay. And you can, and then when you actually don't have a headache and you are out in the sunlight, instead of thinking of, oh my god, I might get a headache because I'm out in my sunlight, I'm out in the sunlight, you could go, oh, I'm out in the sunlight and my eyes are absolutely fine. I love being, the sunlight contributes to my eyes, the sunlight contributes to my body, and things like that. Start choosing that new story, start living that new story. And as you choose that, as you live that, that's exactly what you will start creating for you, right? Like uh, shall I share with you a nice little uh, a little phrase which kind of helps you to craft a new story, right? So what you can do is you can write this phrase, wouldn't it be great if? Wouldn't it be great if? And then start writing down your new story the way you would like it to be. So wouldn't it be great if, I were out in the sunlight and in all the brightness and totally fine. In fact, the sunlight nurtures my eyes, sunlight nurtures my whole body, and I feel so good. The sunlight is contributing to my body, contributing to my eyes, and so you start using exactly that thing which is kind of causing you the issue, and instead you start using that thing as a way of contributing to you, right? just start doing that. Say you're having some issues with some people in your life, people maybe they're being really mean and nasty to you or whatever, right? So you could totally start saying, wouldn't it be great if that person was really kind and caring and nurturing towards me? Wouldn't it be great if that person was totally had my back and completely supported me? Wouldn't it be great if that person contributed to my life and helped me in this project and whatever, right? I mean, just start writing that down. Your whole energy around that person will completely change. Can we use this for something we want to manifest in the future? I mean, there is no future. It's all now. So start living that reality now. Start living that reality now, because when you say it's in the future, you're always going to keep it in the future. It's never going to be in the now, right? So start living in the now with that reality, whatever it is that you would like to have. And as you start living the now, living that reality in the now, it starts to show up more and more for you, right? So I hope this contributed to you guys. And I hope you start living your life as that new reality. And let me know what kind of opened up for you, what changed for you. Maybe share your new stories in the comments. That would be lovely. I mean, when you share your new story, what happens is that another person reading that is inspired and say, oh my god, yeah, I'm having that, I'm totally having that, right? And start living that. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for being live today with me. And I'd love to have you join me in the free 3 days of Out Creation Challenge. You can go to www.nilofarlight.com/outcreation and you can sign up. The day one call is already over. I will be uploading the replay very soon. Replays are available for 24 hours. And I hope to see you guys live for day 2 of the 3 days of Out Creation Challenge. And even if you don't join me in the Out Creation Challenge, I hope you will join me next week at the same time. And thank you once again. And start living your new story. Bye, everyone.